So we finally have video footage involving the bizarre behavior of 30-year-old Kyler Efinger earlier this month before he climbed into a plane engine on the runway at the Salt Lake City International Airport. Now, when I previously covered this story, nobody knows exactly why he was acting so frantic. Nobody knows why he was trying to open these security doors to get outside to the runway. Now, what's not shown on camera is that while he's running, and it looks like he's running pretty quickly, is that he hops into the plane's engine, and then for whatever reason, he passes away. Now, I doubt it's the plane that's moving that he hops into. From what we understand, the plane's engine that he hopped into, that plane was completely shut off. I do find it odd where they decide to cut off the footage. There has to be some kind of footage that exists of him getting inside this plane's engine. Now, like I said, once he hid inside this plane's engine, he passed away. Some assume that he inhaled some kind of toxin that was inside this engine. Now, had the plane been turned on or the engines been on, we would know why he passed away. He would be pretty much turned into soup. So outside of the question of what exactly caused Kyler to pass away, the next biggest question is, what was Kyler running away from? What was he so scared of? And why was he trying to get out of this airport? And more importantly, why was he using the security doors? This looks like a man that was trying to hide from something. And basically he was, given the fact that he was hiding inside of a plane's engine. Now, while we don't know exactly what was happening inside this airport, there was a very bizarre comment that was left on one of these articles when this story first broke out. And then there is also Kyler Efinger's father. So first we'll go with Kyler Efinger's father. Now, Kyler Efinger's father is never once seen on camera speaking out for his son. So this is pretty much the media talking on behalf of Kyler's father. Kyler's father previously said his son was going through a manic phase at the time, as video shows him attempt to open emergency doors at the airport before sprinting down the runway. Kyler Efinger's family stated he had a history with mental health issues and is believed he was going through a manic phase at the time of his passing. Now, Efinger's family said he had bipolar disorder and was reluctant to seek treatment, but appeared to be doing well when they saw him at Christmas shortly before the incident. His father, Judd Efinger, told Fox 13 his son got held up in security and missed his flight before calling him. Now, that is true. He did have an unknown incident with security, and security is not giving the details behind this incident, but whatever happened, they stopped him from boarding his flight. Now, this man was not a stowaway. He was not somebody trying to get a free ride in an airplane by trying to sneak on board. No, he actually purchased a ticket to Colorado to visit his grandfather, and he was heading to the Denver airport. Now, I would really like to know more of the security incident, because whatever happened at the security gate stopped him from boarding his flight. Security would not allow him to board his flight because he was deemed a risk. If he was deemed a flight risk because he was having a manic episode, you would think security would escort him outside the airport. Now, for a good while, he's trying to access these security doors. He's even throwing things at the airport window. And at one point, he's talking to a janitor. So you would think at some point we would see security come and take him away. Where is security on this side of the airport? There is none. One would think security would be monitoring this man, given the fact he already had an incident with security where he couldn't board his flight. So the lack of security presence for somebody who already had an incident inside this airport is rather bizarre in itself. But like I said, there was a comment that was made on one of these articles when I was first reading the story, when the story first broke out that I found rather strange. The comment was getting a lot of thumbs ups, it was getting a lot of replies, so I decided to use it in my video that I was making on this story. And when I went to go back to screenshot the comment, it was gone, it was deleted. But the person who left that actual comment stated that they were there at this actual airport during this incident, and they heard this man yell out, "Help me, they're here to get me, they're going to get me, I need to hide." He was acting very frantic, he was in a hurry, in a rush to board his flight, and security turned him away. When he couldn't board his flight, he ran to the opposite end of the airport, and this is where that scene broke out that we see on camera. Just by reading that comment that somebody or somebodies was after him, that was scaring him, that he had to hide, and that he couldn't board his flight, so he decided to run away, reminds me of the story of Lars Mattank. Now, if you don't know who Lars Mattank is, Mattank has been described as the most famous missing person on YouTube. By May of 2018, less than 4 years after his disappearance, the security footage of him in the airport had been viewed more than 16 million times. On June 30th, 2014, Lars Mattank was in Germany with a group of 5 friends. Lars and a group of friends go to a bar and they get into a disagreement with some German nationals over football. Lars and his friends continue the party outside, and once the party is over, he disappeared for the rest of the night. Once he returns back to his friends at the resort that he and his friends were staying in, he told his friends he was beaten up by 4 men hired by the group in the bar whom they had a disagreement with the night before. And he was beaten rather badly. He was suffering from an injured jaw and a ruptured eardrum. Due to his injuries, the doctor that was examining him told him it's best not to fly out right now. His friends wanted to stay with him, but Lars told his friends, "No, go on without me." And so they did, but Lars and his friends checked out at the resort at the same time, and he checked into the Hotel Kyler Efinger for one night. However, a day after his friends left, he began to act paranoid. While at the hotel, Mattank called his mother, Sandra Mattank, in a whisper told her that people were trying to end his life or rob him, and that she should cancel all his credit cards. Security cameras inside the Varna Hotel caught Mattank pacing up and down the halls, looking out the windows and hiding in an elevator. He would leave the hotel at 1 a.m. and return an hour later, and nobody to this day knows why he left the hotel. He would call his mother once again, telling her that people were pursuing him and they were getting closer. Mattank was last seen at Varna Airport on July 8, 2014, the day he was hoping to fly back home. He texted his mother that he arrived at the airport. He went to consult with the airport doctor, Dr. Kosta Kostov. Kostov would later describe his behavior as nervous and erratic. While in the doctor's office, Dr. Kostov told Mattank that he was okay to leave, but Lars did not want to leave. He was very nervous. He was even starting to tremble. Lars stood up and said, "I don't want to die here. I have to get out of here." He then got up and fled the office. He left behind all his luggage, which included his wallet, his cell phone, and his passport. He was captured by airport security cameras fleeing the terminal. Once outside, he can be seen on footage jogging away from the airport, climbing a fence, running into a meadow, and sprinting off camera in the direction of an adjacent forest near the Bulgarian National Highway A2. That was the last time anybody has seen Lars Mattank. Now, his story is very similar to Kyler's. Kyler was acting very nervous and erratic inside the airport. By accounts from people who are inside this airport, he was saying how people were after him, like Mattank calling his mother. Kyler would call his father, acting very nervous, and his father just took it as a manic episode. Now, it's not shown on camera, but Kyler left all his belongings behind as well. Matter of fact, authorities later found Efinger's clothes on the runway before discovering him inside the engine of an Airbus A220-100. Now, really the only difference between Kyler and Mattank is that Mattank still has not been found. Kyler's body was found inside this engine. Now, of course, Kyler was heading to the ominous Denver airport, and just hearing the Denver airport as a quote-unquote conspiracy theorist, that raises a lot of alarms inside of me. We know just how weird and strange the Denver airport is, and how there are secret tunnels beneath the Denver airport. Now, we don't know what exactly caused Efinger's manic episode. It could have just happened randomly, or something very well could have scared him. Or his story could very well be like Lars Matank, where he was hiding from a group of people and he really felt like his life was in jeopardy, and maybe it was. But this footage and the lack of security really makes Kyler Efinger's story that much more bizarre. And it gets even more bizarre when you start to draw parallels right back to Lars Matank. But I do want to hear from you. What do you believe happened to Kyler Efinger? Please comment your thoughts in the comment section below. In any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.